most interesting thing to me about PragerU in general is that it really seems to just reinforce the idea, especially to everyday people, that it's okay. Like, I mean, who does this appeal to? These videos get millions of views, right? This one probably is already at 100,000. Oh, 324,000. It's basically just like, appreciate your life, appreciate the situation you have. Don't question the system, please. No, the problem is you. Hi everyone. If you're not familiar with PragerU, it is the faux university started by Dennis Prager, and it is just a cesspool, an absolute cesspool of misinformation, mischaracterizations, but it's also a celebrity du jour in the intellectual dark webbery. So you will see all kinds of manner of people in there. We got the Ben Shapiro's, the Steven Crowders, and this one is called What is Fair? I'm going to assume it's going to probably be about meritocracy, the economy, or knowing PragerU, it's probably going to be about why racism doesn't exist. We'll see. Get out your calipers, get ready to measure some skulls. We're going into a deep dive of Prager University.
Life isn't fair. And you know what? It can't be. Here's the problem. The word fair doesn't mean justice, or equity, or indeed anything very specific. It gives you the cover of ambiguity.
Oh.
So, for example, when a politician says, "We want the rich to pay their fair share..."
Here it is. Yes. Do you like semantics? Is anyone here a fan of semantics? Do you like pedantry? Do you like basically getting into the root of a word, and then talking about the definition of that word for some time, and then trying to figure out what it means?
Form of justice. But only if we don't think about it too hard.
Absolutely. I mean, please don't think about the fact that even proportional representation when it comes to taxation actually doesn't really affect the rich in the way that he's about to demonstrate it does. Let's go back for a second, because I love how he started with Monopoly. So Monopoly as a game, I guess in essence, is a bit of a tutorial as to how capitalism works, right? The entire point of the game is not just to do well or to succeed. It's to take all the wealth and property of your opponents. That's the only way you win at Monopoly, in essence, is you have to destroy every other opponent. And by the way, Monopoly is so boring. What a horrible board game. But yeah, you have to go in turn. You not only have to bankrupt your opponents, you then have to seize all their assets, take all their property, and then you continue the game by cannibalizing everyone else. That's how you win. Yeah, and yes, and bobbing for giblets is correct. It was ironically designed not to be fun, because it is supposed to be a lesson about how horrific capitalism can be. There's a handful of other games, by the way, board games that, are extremely offensive for one reason or another. One game in particular, if anyone doesn't already know about this, that's very interesting, is called Blacks and Whites. Another example of a game that tries to illustrate racism with pretty shocking results. Blacks and Whites, according to publisher Dynamic Designs Industries, depicts housing discrimination through the absurdities of living in different worlds while playing on the same board. At the beginning of the game, players choose to be either black or white, and a choice handily determines who wins the game. The whites comprise the majority of players. They start with $1 million and can buy property anywhere on the board. Their black counterparts are the minority, start the game with only $10,000 and can't buy many of the properties. These properties that the players fight for range over the inner ghetto, the outer ghetto, to lower integrated to upper integrated neighborhoods, to lastly, newer estates and older estates. True to life, in the 70s when the game was published, blacks and whites each draw from their own set of opportunity cards. A typical white opportunity card, stock dividends from the company that makes tear gas, collects $40,000. A typical black one, government begins urban renewal project, you both lose Harlem and Watts, collect the full price less than 10% from the treasury.
Or equal. You can use it to mean almost any positive thing you like.
Well, masks off, eh?
How many hours of our own labour we're prepared to put in exchange for a product or a service.
So interesting. I think as of now, at the time of this publication, or this stream, if you will, currently Jeff Bezos makes 290,000 US a minute, every single minute. So I would say, based on the market, he could buy things at a stronger purchasing power, let's just say, than someone who works in his shipping office or one of the many shipping offices that he owns. So I don't know if that would be a correct barometer as to what exactly your purchasing power would be. The most interesting thing to me about PragerU in general is that it really seems to just reinforce the idea, especially to everyday people, that It's okay. Like, I mean, who does this appeal to? These videos get millions of views, right? This one probably is already at 100,000. Oh, 324,000. It's basically just like, appreciate your life, appreciate the situation you have. Don't question the system, please. No, the problem is you.
Economic system. Our relations are mediated by accidents of birth and social caste, and financial rewards are determined by favoritism. The free market alone gives everyone the same rights.
Oh, you know what's beautiful? What's beautiful about that? You were pretty close. You were actually touching on some interesting points. Every single one of you, everyone watching this or anyone who's watching this later on, it's a birth lottery. It's absolutely a birth lottery. Who you are, what you are, where you are. If you're born into an affluent family, if you are a cishet, if you are white, if you were born into North America, all of that is a lottery. No one gets to choose that, right? So based on that, based on this, yes, based on where you're born, who you're born, when you're born as well, you may be born into a castle. You may be rich. You may have a black friend, as PragerU is suggesting right here. Who knows? These are all things that you may have the good fortune to have. Or you may be lonely, like this white guy over on this side. We'll never know these things. But all we do know as part of PragerU is the only thing that will, produce equity, that will produce an egalitarian society is the free market.
I'm Daniel Hannan, president of the Initiative for Free Trade and author of Inventing Freedom for Prager University.
Wow. I mean, that's cocky, eh? Author of Inventing Freedom. I'm going to write a book. What should we call my book? What should we call it, chat? I Impregnated Freedom. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. Lance Impregnates Freedom. That's going to be the name of my novel.
Did you enjoy what you just watched and now crave more nectar of the damned? Did you know that if you're watching on YouTube, you're only getting half the surfy experience? We upload all of our content commercial and censorship free to our Patreon. Due to the general demonetization of our videos, we now upload half of our original content directly to those who can help us produce this show. Want even more nectar than that? Well, come join us at twitch.tv/TheSerfsTV, where we do weekly live streams, debates, interviews, AMAs, and more. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you can help support our show 100% free by subscribing to our Twitch channel. So come join us, be merry, and know that your support is helping us do great things.
Like pay rent and eat.
We would first and foremost like to thank our god, Nicholas Marks. We worship at your temple. We would like to thank our monarch, Elsie Hupp. Your generosity has made this entire thing possible. We would like to thank our lords, Ricky Pilgrim, I'm Raft, and Michaela Schmidt. You are the pillars of our organization. To our Knights of the Surf Table, Paul Parfit, Daniel Kahn, Fair Tahan, Clement Chutskov, Schizosaurus, Josh Mickelson, Dr. Zayas, Cooper Pilot, Andre Lynn Epperly, Dylan Bith, Terry, Todd Buckingham, Jed Lewis, Todd Lajeunesse.